The final trial of the Galactic Military Academy was brutally simple: last cadet standing wins. No weapons. No technology. Just raw combat ability in a 10-kilometer arena filled with rocky terrain and sparse vegetation. Drill instructor Crothzon watched the holographic display as 30 cadets materialized at random locations across the battlefield. 29 were the galaxy's finest warriors, Vrelnathi with their crushing strength, Sicarian ambush predators, Korthian armored juggernauts. Species bred for combat over millions of years of evolution. And one human. "This will be over quickly," Crothzon muttered to his assistant. "The human won't last 10 minutes. Cadet Emma Reeves materialized in a boulder-strewn valley, her academy uniform the only thing she carried. Around her wrist, a monitor tracked her vital signs and would teleport her out the moment she was killed by another cadet's touch. Emma didn't run toward the sounds of distant combat. She didn't search for opponents or defensive positions. Instead, she knelt and began examining rocks. "What is she doing?" Crothzon's assistant asked, zooming in the display. Emma selected stones with specific shapes: flat ones, heavy ones, sharp-edged ones. She tested vines for tensile strength. She dug small pits in strategic locations. Her hands moved with practiced precision, building something. "Is she making traps?" The assistant's confusion was evident. "Primitive nonsense," Crothzon dismissed. "While she plays with pebbles, real warriors are." The display flashed. First elimination: a Sicarian had ambushed a Vrelnathi. Both cadets were evenly matched, but the Sicarian's venom sacs gave it the edge. Emma kept working. 30 minutes in, 12 cadets remained. They gravitated toward the center arena, where tradition demanded final confrontations. It was the way of warriors: face your enemy, prove your strength. Emma didn't go to the center. She stayed in her valley, completing her network of traps. Deadfalls triggered by tripwires. Concealed pits with sharpened stakes. False paths that led to unstable rock formations. A labyrinth of natural hazards that looked entirely unremarkable. Then she waited. The first victim was a Korthian bruiser, all confidence and armored hide. It pursued a Theshan scout into Emma's valley, focused entirely on its prey. The tripwire was invisible, just a vine stretched ankle-high between two rocks. The Korthian's massive foot caught it, and 20 kilograms of stone swung down from a branch, striking with calculated precision. The impact triggered the cadet's elimination beacon. Emma remained hidden, watching. 2 more cadets entered her killing field, circling each other warily. Neither noticed the covered pit until one stepped directly onto the false ground. Branches gave way, and the cadet fell onto blunt stakes, not lethal, but the impact registered as a fatal blow. Elimination. The second cadet spun, searching for the threat, and backed directly into Emma's net trap. Weighted stone cinched tight, immobilizing the warrior long enough for Emma to calmly walk over and tap its shoulder. Elimination. Impossible, Crothzon breathed, watching the tactical display. Half the remaining cadets had been eliminated without Emma engaging in a single direct fight. The final 4 converged on her position, finally recognizing the pattern. 3 apex predators and 1 human. But Emma had spent 2 hours turning the valley into a death maze. She led them through it like a conductor orchestrating a symphony. A Vrelnathi charged and triggered a rock slide, not enough to kill, but enough to pin it. Elimination. A Sicarian tried to ambush from above and found the branch it landed on had been strategically weakened. It crashed down, and Emma was there. Elimination. The final opponent was a Targathian, the deadliest species in the academy. It moved with liquid grace, avoiding every trap, reading the terrain like Emma had. They faced each other across a small clearing. "Clever, human," the Targathian growled. "But now you must fight." Emma smiled and kicked a specific rock. The entire clearing collapsed. It wasn't a pit, it was a sinkhole Emma had spent an hour carefully excavating and camouflaging. Both cadets fell, but Emma had positioned herself to grab a prepared handhold. The Targathian wasn't so fortunate. Elimination. Silence filled the command center. Winner, Cadet Emma Reeves, the automated system announced. Crothzon stared at the display showing Emma climbing out of her final trap, not a scratch on her. Replay her activity log, he ordered. They watched in growing amazement as the footage showed Emma's preparation. Every trap was calculated. Every position was strategic. She had turned the entire valley into a weapon without throwing a single punch. She never intended to fight, the assistant whispered. She engineered the battlefield itself. Crothzon pulled up humanity's military history. There it was, thousands of years of trap-making, ambush tactics, environmental manipulation. Humans didn't just fight their enemies, they made the world fight for them. From punji pits in ancient jungles to elaborate siege defenses, humanity had perfected the art of letting their environment do the killing. Emma materialized in the command center, slightly dirty but entirely uninjured. Cadet Reeves, Crothzon said slowly. That was the most unconventional victory in Academy history. Permission to speak freely, sir. Granted. Emma grinned. My species learned a long time ago that the strongest warrior doesn't always win. But the smartest one usually does. Why fight fair when you can fight smart? Crothzon's mandibles clicked in what might have been laughter. Indeed. Tell me, do all humans think like this? Pretty much, Emma shrugged. We're not the biggest or strongest species on our planet. We survived by being clever, using tools, and making everything around us into a weapon. Old habits die hard. The instructor looked at his assistant. Revise the combat curriculum. If one human can neutralize an entire class without landing a blow, we need to understand their methodology. As Emma left, Crothzon added a note to her file, recommended for tactical operations. Warning, will not fight the battle you expect. Will fight the battle she's already won. It was the highest compliment a warrior could receive.